Hello and welcome to Co-Creating with Cosmic Holly. My name is Holly and I'll be discussing the energy, the vibe of the last quarter moon that's happening on Sunday, April 20th at 7:22 p.m. Eastern. The quarter moon will begin in Capricorn. We're coming into the last degrees. It's at 23 degrees Capricorn, and its movement is going to share a little bit of Aquarius as well. So that's because the sun is now in Taurus, and at the new moon of this cycle, the sun was in Aries. So the new moon was also in Aries, and Aries is all about the I am. So I have a few questions before I pull a card. And the question that this quarter moon, the last quarter moon, the closing square, is going to be bringing up is, how do you bring the energy of I am into your community? How does the I am energy, the energy of yourself, benefit your community? How does being yourself benefit the world? Right? That's kind of what this is all about. How does your relationship with yourself create stability in your life and in the lives of the people around you? With the new moon, with the last quarter moon position, I also want to think back to what you might be harvesting from the seeds you've planted, the intentions you've made, or the intentions you set on the Aries new moon eclipse on March 29th, 2025. So think back 3 weeks ago. Is there anything coming to fruition that you're now harvesting, that you're now gathering and collecting? Also think back to January and February of 2023. Is there anything from that time that you're seeing conclusions about, or rewards now? I mean, most people can't remember those things off the top of their heads, but if you look back, you can see how some of the bigger picture has unfolded. And finally, what rewards are you reaping from your clarity and commitment from the full moon a week ago, April 12th? Conversely, you can think back to June and July of 2024, the Capricorn Aquarius full moon. What rewards are you reaping that maybe took a little longer to come about? Okay, so the energy of this last quarter is, how does the I am fit into making the world a better place in your community? And I'm shuffling cards, and we're going to see. You may be also making decisions about what it is that you want to let go of. And maybe inklings, idea of some new seeds that you may want to plant in the future. What are you kind of like putting down into your, putting in your collection of something you'd like to do in the future? Okay, here we go. We're almost there. Waiting for a card to jump out. I think one's come out. Oh my gosh, same one we had last, I think this was last week, the moon. So we're entering the dark phase of the moon, where this last quarter means we're waning toward the new moon once again. And the moon is really asking you to use your imagination, to go deep with it. When we start to really go inward into what it is we're imagining, sometimes it can get a little scary, because it's like, oh, there's the initial excitement about opening yourself to possibilities that you might not be able to see directly in front of you. And then you start to go on the journey, or your imagination really takes over. And there's usually a moment during the journey of using the imagination where you experience fear, where suddenly, you may start to allow like the monsters in your imagination to rise up and maybe stop you, right? It's like it's almost like an ego protection. Not even almost, it is. This ego protection comes in and tries to shut your imagination down from growing beyond. So the moon at this time, I feel just that this is a time of growth. This is a time to really imagine the world that you want to experience. We're in a time right now where we need to really look inward and decide, what is it that we love? What is it that we hold sacred? What kind of seeds do we want to plant for the future, not only for ourselves, but for I've been talking about our community, and even for the world, every being. And so when we dive into the imagination, when we dive inward, sometimes there's all of a sudden, oh my God, where am I? You can't see everything with the moon. But if you allow yourself to be quiet and still, you'll get more guidance. You'll know what to do next. And you can intuit the next move. And the moon is a journey we all go through. We aren't really sure of what we're looking at, because we're looking at a reflection. The light of the moon is a reflection of the sun. And so it's also a reflection of our interpretation of the reflection. How we interpret what we see creates our reality. So if we're feeling fear because we're in a situation where things are unknown, the best thing to do is to be still and to listen and to use all our senses to inform the next step. And the card that comes after the moon is the sun. But we have to get through the night before we experience the sun, before we experience the day, before we experience new life. So this next week's energy is going to be filled with mystery and also potential in the use of your imagination in order to move forward. What kind of world do you want to experience? The darkness allows us to experience potential. Moving forward, if fears bubble up, it's like take a moment to assess the fears rather than acting on the fears. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I wanted to mention that I also do tarot readings, personal readings. This is a more general reading for the energy of the moon at this time. But you can find the types of readings that I do at holly-troy.com/tarot. And from there you can book a reading with me. All of my readings are 25% off for the rest of 2025 because we are in such a massive state of change. I feel like it's important to be able to do readings for a lot of people. Anyway, be well, and I'll see you in a week. Peace.